this might sound a little bit crazy, but yeah, it's true. I actually have Chad Kroeger from Nickelback with me online here now, and just just to start saying congratulations to the new album, Get Rolling. It's being released on the 18th of November, and the first single, Sanqueni, is out and already a huge success at Pirate Rock. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm getting some updates as to what's going on around the world with it, but it is really nice to know that it's a huge success with you guys. That feels absolutely wonderful. This long into a career, somebody still wants to hear some music from us, so that's always nice.
Well, I can tell you that the fans really. I talked about it yesterday on the radio, that I was like, okay, I got this pre-listening thing of the record and it sounds amazing. And I think I got like 200 emails from people today saying like, okay, can we listen? I was like, no, sorry, you have to
wait. Everybody's like, we want to hear it. Let us hear it.
Yeah, they want to hear it now. And it's like, yeah, well, but tell me a little bit about the new album. I mean, what can the fans expect? I read that it took 5 years to make.
No.
Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. No, it's 5 years between albums. And as you very well know, when you put out an album, you have to go tour the world, and that takes a couple of minutes. So there's usually, probably just under 2 years it takes to hit all the places. And then we had that lovely little thing called the pandemic.
Yeah.
And that was fun for everyone. Yeah. So that pushed things back another 2.5 years. So I think it was probably I think in total probably took about a year to make. I mean, there was no deadline, and it was nice that we got to take our time and just be creative and get everything the way we wanted it to sound. Now, in terms of the album, in terms of the record, it's sort of like, a lot of our albums, it's all over the place. I mean, if everybody's loving the rock stuff, there's more rock. If everyone's loving that heavy stuff, there's more of that on there. But there's also, just like everything we do. I mean, I'm not gonna deliver an album that just sounds linear and the whole thing is gonna just be the same thing. Like we like to lean heavier, and we like to also lean more melodic. So I mean, there's something on there for everybody. There really is. Back inside the clink, I'm gonna testify that I was right out of my mind. Let the record show I get it off the rock and roll, screaming every night, playing 20 by the lights. Yeah,
well, I must say, like this, following Nickelback from early stage and being actually a huge fan, it feels like every time you turn on a new Nickelback album, it feels like getting hit in the face when you hear the first song. And don't take this wrong, hitting the face in a positive way. If there is, I mean, do you know directly when you've written a song that this will be the first song on the record, because this is like, it's a slam dunk for the listeners?
No, we don't really know, but we liked how, San Quentin definitely does that. It definitely has that.
Yeah, it does.
It is really in your face, and it's aggressive right off the bat. And, that's why we chose that one for sure. We don't always know. I mean, we've got to live with them all. Like, once you get to know these songs and really live with them for a while, and then, just trying to make the order of how we think this movie should flow as we give it to our fans. That's another beast that you've got to kind of conquer, and because you just want everything to sort of ebb and flow. You just don't want a whole bunch of the same crap all just at the same time. Everything just like a show. When we play our shows, there has to be these climactic points, and things are going to be very energetic and really loud, and then they're going to come down, and you're going to be melodic for a bit. And just like the shows that we do, we want our albums to flow like that too.
Yeah. But are there any particular song from the new album that you're, extra satisfied with? Like this is something unique. I mean, of course, there are unique songs, all of them. But
so did you get to hear the whole? Matthias, did you hear the whole album? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think something that's a little bit of a left turn for us that's different, because we always try and do one song that's, we would say, left field. It's definitely not indicative of everything else on the record. That would be Tidal Wave. I think that's it. Definitely just, it doesn't really sound a lot like us until I start singing. You wouldn't think that was a Nickelback song.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I'm really interested to see how the fans receive that one.
Yeah. Well, I think they receive it well, definitely. We've already, I mean, since we listened to it today, I think we already know at least 3 or 4 more songs that's gonna, for us at least, when we're guessing at the studio, like, this is gonna be the next single, or this is gonna be the next song to get on a rotation. So
that feels, I mean, just you saying that alone, if you guys are already picking the next 3 songs you want to play, that's fantastic. That really is.
Well, trust me, we're gonna play High Time as well.
Oh wow!
Suddenly we have like Nickelback and country. What happened there? I love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, we've got a song called Those Days, and that's a little bit of that's kind of a throwback to like the 80s. And then we've got High Time, which is definitely like a throwback to the 70s. And so not only is there musically something for everyone, there's something really era specific for everyone as well. So the head of our record company, Thomas, he heard High Time, and that spoke to him. That was just his flavor because of his age group. And he was like, this song is it just speaks to me. And then someone else, 20 minutes later, we'd play them Those Days, and they'd be a little bit younger. They'd be my age, because we all grew up in the 80s. And they would hear that one. They'd be like, dude, that song just hits me. And I love that. I love the way that we were able to do that. But when we talked about for High Time, your question was like, where did that come from? And it does have a little bit of it's got like almost like a 70s country rock vibe. Like it would be like the Eagles meets, I don't even know who it would be, but that's the flavor we wanted to go with. Getting in a van and just picking up hitchhikers as you're kind of going along, and it's that era, and you're going from kind of concert to concert around the country, and everybody's just incredibly stoned and having the time of their lives.
Well, this is so crazy that you're saying this, because when I listened to it first, I was the first one listening to it at studio today, and I talked to my producer and I said, isn't this the best road trip song ever? And now you're saying getting into a van and going out and just getting stoned and going on there. Oh, well, yeah,
that's it.
Well, trust me, it's going to be on a lot of road tripping playlists on Spotify. That's for sure.
We be turning up the stereo and playing everywhere we go. We started everyone we know in those days, and everybody got to fall in love with every movie made for us.
There's a lot of nostalgia in the lyrics of Nickelback, and has been for quite a long time. Are you a nostalgic person?
100%, absolutely. But it feel like the older we get, the more we look back.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. Because, I mean, just it's so weird that we have to say it though. But when you're in your 20s, you're not doing a lot of looking back. But when you're 30, you start looking back. When you're 40, you really start looking back. And I'm assuming as this goes on, those really, really special times that made us what we are, you just look back on them with more and more fondness all the time. It's like every night before I go to bed, I find that I close my eyes and something comes flooding back to me from those times where I'm just like, I remember suddenly that one kid's name that I couldn't remember for the last 15 years, bang, it pops in my head. And I'm like, oh, that's his name, or, some sort of party you went to or the first girl you kissed kind of thing. And it's like, it's all those things. And as much as I feel like it sounds like I'm describing Photograph, because that's very much nostalgic too.
Yeah.
Those days is era specific. It's really about when we grew up in the 80s. And when you see the video that we've made, it's like, It's going to have everything in there, like every single reference. But and like we talk about it in the lyrics. We're talking about this one, remember when the streetlights came on and we had to be home. That's not necessarily 80s, but remember when Elm Street came on, couldn't watch it alone. And I don't know what your numbers were, but remember every prank call we made and star 69. So star 69 was what you'd push in North America to trace the call, and it would tell you the number.
Yeah, well, the same here in Sweden, actually. So.
Oh, really? Star 69.
Yeah, we have the same cut. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Because I was worried about that. I'm like, oh, people overseas, they might not get that reference.
Oh, but they get it. Trust me.
And then we, as we're talking about, remember trying to hit 88 to go back in time, and we make the Back to the Future reference. Remember when they played Purple Rain at our first slow dance? Remember when we thought that first base was just holding hands, all those things. Remember Guns N' Roses came out, we were standing in line. Remember front row at that show, we camped out all night. All of those things that are just right in line with everything we grew up with. And it was so fun to write because it was one of those songs where we had 40 things. Yeah. And we had to try and get it down to like 10. Which is always fun. That's right. It's one of those writing sessions where when sometimes it's like pulling teeth a little bit and you're working really, really hard to find those magic lines that are going to fit in there. But sometimes when you're writing something like Rockstar, for instance, and suddenly it's just every single thing that, someone's spitting out a line. It's line after line after line. And now you wind up with 100 of them, and you've got to get them down to like whatever the 15 best and figure out how to put them in there. Those are great writing sessions because there's just so much information there to work with.
Yeah, but I have a question about that. But I have to follow up this nostalgia thing. I mean, of course, when we're talking about it, because we both grew up in the 80s. But do you remember the first record you bought?
See, most of the time, because Mike, my brother, the bass player in the band, usually Mike would buy the cassette, and then I would just get to listen to it. So I'm trying to think of like the first one that I bought. I think it was Dawkins, Tooth and Nail. That's what I think it was.
Well, that's a great record. So that's a great first buy.
And I think the last song on that record's called Turn on the Action. See, it's happening. It's happening right now.
It's
I'm just
happening,
like, holy smokes. I haven't thought of that in holy smokes. That's a lot of
nostalgia, and the vinyl's coming back now and everything, and people are collecting them again. And finally, we're getting back to the 80s again. The people that rock and roll music, we can buy shit and we can, collect it again.
Yeah.
And you're releasing the record on vinyl as well in 2023, right?
That's what they're telling me. They're telling me that we're going to, I mean, we've had a lot of vinyl, but we kind of, so have you seen the cover of what the record's going to look like?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so that's I just got the okay. All right. I'm getting
okay, you're getting there. Okay, don't tell anything from the guy next to you. Okay, I can see it. I can see it.
Because when we do these things right and we roll them out properly and everything gets the little bit of tease and you get everybody excited about it, then that's the way you do it, as opposed to just blah, here you go.
Yeah. Well, that's an album that you have on the wall in the living room. So I like the
yeah, for
definitely.
Sure.
Just wanna be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses, driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap. Well, I'll stay skinny cause we just won't eat.
No, getting back to where you were like a couple of minutes ago, we're talking about the process of making music. When you write songs and write lyrics and everything, how do you even start? I mean, for a guy like me who's been interested in music my whole life, it's impossible for me to even understand how to make a song like Rockstar or even San Quentin, whatever. Do you write it on keyboard or on the guitar, or do you just out walking and humming?
It's just,
how does it work?
Like, you'd have so if you're sitting there And if I was on the bus, because I wrote it on the back of the tour bus,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Chad Kroeger with his guitar in his lap now. This is amazing.
yeah, but so I got the melody that, so the melody starts coming, and I definitely wanted to come up with something that was really universal, because when you do that, it just speaks to so many people. And the idea, because I've met a lot of sports stars and I've met a lot of movie stars, I've met a lot of people who are the best at what they do. And there is one universal thread with all of them. And they will all say the same thing. Yes, I do this. I drive an F1 car and I'm the best in the world, whatever it is. But I always wanted to be a rock star. And there was that common thing through all of them.
Well,
like everybody on the planet wants to be a rock star or feel like a rock star or whatever that would be. And so then all I did was just plug that sentiment into the first line. I just don't want to be big rock stars. And then away you go. And now you just start listing all the things, and live in hilltop houses, driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap, which is almost a reference to a Mark Knopfler song, which would be Money for Nothing. Yeah. Right? Money for nothing. And your chicks are free.
Chicks are free.
It's almost it's almost that kind of thing, because he was saying the same thing in there. That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. So that was the same sort of sentiment. And so I'm sort of nodding to what he was saying. And then you just keep go down, and then it's just a list. So, but you have to figure out how to get into that. So as soon as you do that, turns out life just hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be. And as soon as you say that, I want to, brand new house on an episode of Cribs and a bathroom, I can play baseball. And then we're just listing all of the things. Yeah. We're just going to go down all of those. And those are the ones that are, those are the ones that are a lot of fun. See, sometimes when you pick up a guitar and you just start playing a chorus, you're not really sure where you're going. And what you should, if you're going to quote unquote professionally write a song, which I rarely do, if I was going to go sit in a songwriting session with somebody else, you want to bring in ideas of what the main theme is going to be first. You're going to say, let's make the song about this. And then you're going to come up with your chorus. There's your general theme, right? And then you're going to have your verses, and your verses are just going to be descriptive as to what the main general theme, your chorus, is about. That's how you should write a song. But it seems like a lot of times when when I'm writing Nickelback songs, it's just like, all right, here we go. Off we go.
Yeah, well, keep on doing that, please. Don't get into some other mood or something. Just keep up the work you're doing, because you're doing fucking fabulous. So thank you.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, and then the nice thing is, it doesn't have to be hard work, and this is, it's really weird to say this is my job. It's so weird to be like, this is my job.
Yeah.
But it's so fun.
Sometime.
Like, you just get to sit in here and create. It's just like, and anything you want. And if you come in, it's hard on I don't know what it's like. I don't know what the weather's like where you're at right now over the last few days or whatnot. But right now we're getting a really nice extended summer, it feels like. It is. There isn't a cloud in the sky right now. It is.
Where are you now?
Vancouver. I'm at the house in Vancouver.
Okay.
And it is just gorgeous. So it's when you come into the studio on an afternoon that looks like this.
Yeah.
It's a little tough to write songs like San Quentin. But as soon as the sun goes down in the evening, and the drinks start flowing a little bit and things are like a little more, all right, let's crank it up a bit. And, then you grab some of the heavier guitars and, you turn on the distortion and away you go. And it's nice because it's just whatever mood strikes. And that really is an absolute pleasure to be able to do that.
Well, I'm gonna wrap this up now by saying it's been a huge honor talking to you, and thanks for taking time. And
You as well.
I really hope that we get to see you on the tour soon. I know that a lot of Swedes are missing you on, seeing you live. So that's going to be great when that happens. I know that something isn't set yet. I've heard at least, but I hope it will be quite soon.
2023, we're coming, and we love Sweden. The fans there are so good to us, and you guys always have been. And thank you for the support. Thank you for playing, the new music, and thank you for even suggesting that you want to play more of it. That just like, it warms my heart.
That. Trust me.
And it's great.
Yeah. Have a really good time now, and hope to see you live soon, and send the best to all the guys. And once again, congratulations to great album.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.